Raw crew, welcome back to the It's Not Fake Fan Cast. Again, we call ourselves a fan cast because we're not a podcast. Podcasts are reserved for journalists. We're not journalists. We're not insiders. We're not bookers. We're not agents. We're not wrestlers. We're not producers. We don't own shit. We don't know any wrestlers. We don't care to know any wrestlers. What we have done, we spent the time, energy, effort, and money. And the one thing that we love, which is professional wrestling. Now we're spending our time with you, the fans, because we are fans. Let me introduce you to the crew. Malakin B. Jones. Man, name's so dope. He don't need a nickname. Let's go. What we got?
Yeah, what we got, I can't wait to talk about all the exciting things that happen in the world of professional wrestling.
All right, let's go. I'm going to kick the ball to my tag team partner, my main man, Reg, a.k.a. Antonio Marks the Marksman. We call him the Marksman because he's a grown man, John Cena fan, rocking a 3-second tan. What's up?
The Marksman is in the house. We got a lot to cover tonight, and I always hit my mark. Let's get the show on the road. What's up, everybody?
Big shout out to our editor, our engineer, my brother, my cousin, my blood, Najee, Darkness. What's up, man? Have fun editing this fan cast. And I am Ahmad, your host, The Dark Show. And if you don't like my nickname, I'm going to call Kwame Brown to come get you. Shouts out to him. All right, what we got? Yo, before we get into the show real quick, I just want to give a big shout out to the family of Jerome Young, a.k.a. New Jack. We are from Philly. We did grow up with ECW. And this one hurt. Special place in our heart. So shouts out to New Jack. Malakin B. Jones. What we got? What's the headline this week?
Headline this week, we're talking about, all the stuff surrounding Will Ospreay. Let's get right into it,
So I was looking into this. I was actually looking into this today and yesterday. And I understand guys have a lot of injuries and you're working through injuries. That guy has that belt. They asked him not to drop it. They said work through it, at least get through the summer where he would drop it to Okada. And he said no. He's going to nurse his injuries. His contract, I don't know when his contract is up, but then there's rumors of him leaving New Japan and going to NXT UK. Did y'all hear anything about that? Jim?
I absolutely did. I heard, a lot about him going to NXT UK, and it really opens up a lot. People start thinking about dream matches. But I have a different theory that's something very interesting to talk about. You know what I think? I think this is a work. That's what I think it is. I think Will Ospreay goes away for a little bit. Maybe he comes back in a month. Maybe he comes back in 2 months. Maybe he comes back in 3 months when Okada does have his belt and he can challenge again. And once again, all people in the wrestling community, the world of wrestling, some people in the wrestling community don't watch certain shows. Everyone's going to watch that show. Everyone. So I really think this could be a work. That's what I think it could be.
But the only reason why I would disagree with you on that is because they already pulled this shit with Jay White earlier in the year after Wrestle Kingdom. Remember they were debating or they were saying that Jay White, is he going to stay? His contract is up. Is he going somewhere else? Is he leaving? And that was all a work. He was just talking shit. You know what I mean? He wasn't going anywhere. This right here, I get a different vibe than I did with that. I mean, this guy was world champ, right? And he was going to have that belt for a while. And they're going to run through the summer, G1, probably all the way to Wrestle Kingdom with this. And for him just to up and leave, I mean, it could be a work. And they did release a lot of backstage information about how they wanted him to stay and all that shit. But why would they ever bring up NXT UK? At least with the Jay White situation, they just said WWE or AEW or Impact. With Will Ospreay, there was no Impact talk or WWE talk or AEW talk. It was just NXT UK. And we all know he turned down the WWE because he didn't want to leave Europe. And Asia, for that matter, to more of an extent. So NXT UK would be right up his alley, kind of like a Walter contract situation.
I'm going to side you right there because that's exactly where I wanted to go with that. Like, I think he could be the one to possibly drop Walter. And look, Walter's been going hard on these heavy hitting.
Hold on. Wait. Before we get there, because we can't really talk about him going against what I don't want to talk about him going against Walter yet.
I think they're only going to put him in there for the championship picture.
No, listen, man. We don't know what's going on yet, though. Like we're talking about right now, we're talking about what's going on with him in New Japan with these injuries.
Okay.
There's rumors with him going to WWE, NXT, UK, whatever, but that's so far down the road. I think right now we're trying to see if, well, we know he's injured. We do know that. We do know he has to nurse some injuries, and we also know that they're not super serious where he has to have immediate surgery to the point where he had to drop the title. He could have worked through the summer and then nursed him. So I don't know if he's going anywhere. If his contract is up, the way New Japan rolls, that shit is up in January after Wrestle Kingdom or right before Wrestle Kingdom. That's how they do. So I don't want to talk about him, what he would do in NXT UK. That's just a rumor about him going. He could be using that shit as leverage also. You know what I mean? So I don't want to really talk about him wrestling anybody in WWE because it just seems like we'll stray off of the real topic. Is this dude super injured? He wrestles a crazy style? Is he sick in New Japan? Is he trying to get more money out of him? What's his contract like? Is it a work?
Maybe it's work, maybe it's not, but it's just my job to mark out. That's what I'm here.
I know.
That's why Antonio Marks is here.
I had to stop that real quick because that would be so far. We're so far removed for something like that ever happening. There's so many steps that has to, there's so many things that have to happen before we even approach that. We got to
like it being put in people's ears, like I'm trying to do.
I mean, we just got to figure out, and as fans, we got to know what's going on, right? So we got to figure out, is this guy, how bad are its injuries? Number one, sounds like the ankle or the knee, I believe I read, was the worst of it. And his style, the way that man wrestles, the ankle and the knee, that's a serious injury for him. So we don't know how long that's going to be. Then him just willing to drop a title that he worked his whole career to get, it's got to be something serious. You know what I'm saying? Or, like Chimby said, it could be a work. I don't know.
For all we know, he could be the Japanese Rey Mysterio. No, he's the biggest little man over there, or the littlest big man over there. For all we know, like that's just maybe how they treat him. Like, but he finally gets this title, and what happens?
That guy's not that small. He's bigger than Seth Rollins.
He's not that small, but like maybe that's just how they're playing him. Like I'm not sure, but I think it would be a good show if it was the truth. Like he would, for the record, he's like the international Sting. He knows he can compete. He just doesn't want to do it in WWE. What if this rumor is true? What made it happen? Like it was a rumor. We thought Sting was coming. Sting popped up at WrestleMania, messed up his career, like and his shoulder. But now we got him back. But it could be a real thing. But I read the Will Ospreay injury report. Neck strains, ankle sprains, like the whole shebang. But it wasn't enough to say that he would be. It wasn't enough to keep him from competing. He chose to do such for either.
They didn't say anything about surgery. That's what I was looking for. Does he need immediate surgery? So if he doesn't need immediate surgery, and they were trying to basically force him to not only work through the summer but keep the title as their flagship, then there has to be something more than the injuries going on. Like, yes, he might be injured, and yes, he might need rest, but they don't sound as serious to the point where they would keep him out. And me personally, I don't want to see him no NXT UK. I'd rather him stay in New Japan. If you're going to come to WWE, come to WWE. The guy's a star. Or come to NXT for a little while, whatever. He's a star. If he goes to NXT UK, stay the fuck in Japan.
I completely disagree. Stay the hell out of WWE as long as you can. NXT is where the real wrestling exists. Look at Walter, the ring general. He's trying to bring
NXT. I said stay out of NXT UK. He can go to NXT for a little while and get caught.
NXT UK might as well
nobody in America watches the shit. That's why.
Yeah, because they don't have. We're all working at Thursday 3:30. That's
nobody's watching. Nobody's watching NXT UK.
I've kept up with UK actually pretty good, and I don't think it's that bad. It's just
I'm not saying it's bad. Nobody watches it though.
They're a little stale.
You take a fucking guy like Will Ospreay. He's been a superstar for years. They tried to get him before. You ain't gonna put him in no NXT U fucking K. You put him in the main event against Karrion Kross when you debut him or some shit, or you bring him straight to SmackDown. Get the fuck out of it.
Or right against Walter. Like right against Walter. Why not?
What's the WWE's number one priority?
And he's a boy that can keep up with you.
As a company, what's the WWE's number one priority?
Money.
They ain't making no fucking money with him in WWE NXT UK. They're not. Champion, what you think?
I agree 100%. For him to go to NXT UK, I mean, everyone's. I think here's what's funny about everything. There was no big report about how injury was. You know, he never. I don't think he ever said he was injured. We knew about his injuries, but he never really came out and said it. They had a little report. He gave the belt. He gave the belt up. All right, cool. But he didn't do. He gave the belt up. He didn't give the belt up like gave it backstage or anything. He did it in front of people and cameras and stuff. So think about that. If he goes to NXT UK, it would diminish all the work he's done in New Japan. It would really diminish it.
Exactly. You put him back on the bottom.
Yeah,
no,
he put
it would
he's
put
on top.
NXT UK on the real map.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would. Anybody hears about them getting it because WWE themselves is going to blast it on their American or global sites, and they're going to make sure that people are tuning in to UK to see Will Ospreay. If they really acquire this talent, like the guy that was just holding the main strap, you think that they're not going to blast that front and center and try and get people to tune in more to NXT UK, even if they miss the show? They don't.
I totally
can't tune in 3:00 in the afternoon. I would go watch that match. I've gone back and watched plenty. I would definitely go back to see that.
Why would they? That's a waste. It's a waste for everybody involved.
You want to talk waste in WWE?
If you're Will Ospreay. If you're Will Ospreay, you just reached the pinnacle. New Japan Pro Wrestling is the number 2 pro wrestling league in the world. Number 2. NXT isn't 3 and 4 and 5. NXT is a subsidiary of the WWE. NXT UK is a subsidiary of that. So he goes from the fucking major league. He's the champion of the major league. And you start this dude at the bottom of the barrel in WWE to a point where WWE's not going to make any money off of him wrestling on NXT UK. The WWE's not making any money off of Walter. Let's keep it real. They're just appeasing this guy, hoping one day he decides to come over. Will Ospreay, they're not going to pay a guy like Will, because let's all agree on this. Will Ospreay is a way bigger star coming into an NXT situation than Walter was at the time when he came in. Way bigger star. We're talking about matches of the fucking year, like 5 years in a row type star. Like this dude is a star. It's Will Ospreay, for Christ's sake. His name is Will Ospreay. He's the fucking world champion in New Japan. If he's coming to WWE, at minimum, he's coming to NXT. He's not coming to no NXT UK because he wouldn't do that and waste. He might as well stay in Japan. He'd make the same money or more in Japan, in my opinion. And he'd get more of shine. I can go right to that shit. New Japan gets way more coverage than NXT UK.
Agreed, but you're telling me that this fool can't get a hot contract?
I'm not done. I'm not done because it's my last point. It's the most important point. As WWE fans, not us, these hardcore, nerdy wrestling fans like us, as WWE fans who consist of everything from a fair weather fan to a casual fan to a hardcore fan, they're not even watching NXT. They're not watching NXT UK. And they damn sure ain't watching New Japan. What they are doing is waiting for guys to debut, waiting for new guys. To them, Will Ospreay is new. You don't put him in NXT UK. You waste his talent. You want to shock a casual WWE fan? You put that man in front of a camera on a big stage and give him fucking 10 minutes to do his shit, and he will impress the world. He will impress every casual fan that never seen him before. You're wasting him on NXT UK, and I don't think he would do it. I think he's using the shit as leverage if it's true. And I don't want to see him on NXT UK because I think NXT UK is bullshit. Honestly, it's bullshit. Put all them dudes in NXT. If they don't want to come to America, then cut them. Nobody's watching it. Look at their ratings. More people watch 205 Live than NXT UK and American fans. The fuck out of here, man. I can name more cruiserweights than I can name NXT UK. I know Walter and the dude he beat, and Pete Dunne. And Pete Dunne is in NXT. I'd rather see Will Ospreay fight Pete Dunne on a fucking Tuesday night than to see him fight fucking Water in the middle of the afternoon when nobody is fucking watching or cares. Nobody cares about Water right now because he's not in NXT. Nobody would care about Will Ospreay. Go ahead, talk y'all shit because y'all know I'm right.
I gotta cut you off because I remember this how long me and the Dark Show been friends. I remember a time where he didn't care about NXT at all. And Mr. Marks had to bring him every bit of information. I had to convince him.
You're making my point then.
Because I had to convince you to watch.
Most people don't
NXT. So
care.
It's the same situation. It's my turn. It's my turn right this time.
I'm the host.
It's the same situation. It's the things you don't know because like you're just not supposed to. I'm exposed to way less New Japan than you are. Like, but I have always exposed myself to whatever is on the WWE network. I'm on there checking facts. Like everybody is. Like not everybody is just, maybe their ratings are down. No one tunes in. But people are watching. Like that's the thing. Like you gotta understand. Like people will click on it. I keep up with that NXT UK.
My nigga. Nobody fucking watches NXT UK here in America, bro. Nobody. They don't. Yeah, not like that. Name like 5 dudes off their roster.
Like, name 5 dudes. Maybe it's not the top of the charts, but it's legitimate wrestling. And if everybody over there in the UK
name 5 dudes on the roster right now. 5 dudes.
Me?
You got Water. Yeah. Name 5 dudes.
You want me to name 5 people on the roster
right now?
All right. We got obviously we got Walter. We got Tyler Bate. 2, we got Trent Seven. We got my boy Dave Mastiff. We got the Deadly, what do they call him? Pretty Deadly, the tag team champions over there. We got A-Kid, the Heritage Cup. He just lost the Heritage Cup.
Everybody you named appeared in NXT in America, right?
A-Kid never showed up in America.
Okay.
Pretty Deadly never showed up in America.
They did too.
When?
They didn't?
Come on, bro. You're going to go, yeah, I know you next. Pretty Deadly never showed up in America. I can get into the women's division too.
So 80%
that's where,
of people,
we got Tony Storm and Rhea Ripley now. Then there's Kaylee Ray. Then there's Piper Niven.
80% of the people that you named, 80% of the people who are listening to this show don't know half of the motherfuckers that you just named.
And that's why the marksman is here to point the way.
Right, but you're in the minority. You're a minority in the minority.
Okay, that's good. I'll let my voice be heard until
with your black ass watching NXT UK that no one else watches.
But Simon does. A real tight friend of all of ours, and I can talk to.
This is my point. That motherfucker live in Britain. Of course, he fucking watches it. He's from there. Yeah. We from Philly. We watch ECW.
It's not. So this is what I'm saying, man. I got other stuff to talk about. I like wrestling. It's easier for me to tune into NXT UK than it is for me to tune into New Japan. It's easier for me to tune into NXT UK than it is for.
That's bullshit. Because you can turn into New Japan 24/7 and watch all types of content. NXT UK is once a week.
I got a channel that every day. I can watch more old school Impact than I can watch New Japan.
No, you can't. I
can watch more Ring of Honor than I can watch New Japan.
That's because you're not. If I gave you my login, you'd have no excuse.
We cutting that from the show, but
what you mean? Just take the login. You have no excuse. Chimby got my Fight Pass login, and he watched he can watch anything he want on Impact.
All right. Well, you have to give me that information so I can hook it
up.
No,
I'm not giving it to you now.
Yeah.
Because you watch,
so I can't mark it out.
No, stop. You said you good watching NXT UK. You don't need New Japan. You good, right?
I said I don't have the ability to.
You and the 5 people who watch 205 Live can have fun watching NXT.
I speak more Japanese than all of y'all, but I can't watch New Japan.
Arigato, motherfucker. Arigato. All right.
Sayonara gozaimasu.
So this is what I want to end this Will Ospreay shit with, real quick. Again, you're wasting the guy's top 5 in the world right now. And you're going to put him on NXT UK? Why would he go there? Why would he just stay in Japan and heal up and go back and wrestle on the second largest stage in wrestling, which is Wrestle Kingdom?
Stage don't mean that much to everybody.
Hold on. Let me finish. He's not going to fucking NXT UK takeover compared to Wrestle Kingdom? The fuck? No, you either bring that man at minimum to NXT. At minimum. Or he don't come here. If he doesn't want to come and wrestle in America, he can keep his ass in Japan. But it'd be a waste of money for WWE to sign this guy to a big contract just for him to stay in NXT UK where nobody watches it. And I got the last word on that because I said so. Next topic, Chimby.
Because the dark show said so.
The next topic, we're going to talk about people who got released this week. So go right into it.
Reggie, you start that because I'm going to get into it. Go ahead.
So we start at the bottom of the list or the top? Since we're already talking about UK, let's start with Alexander Wolf.
Yeah. Start at the bottom. So you can start with Wolf and then
let's start with Alexander Wolf since we already talked about UK. The boy got booted from Imperium being too soft. I don't actually remember a lot of the other ones, so we're just gonna get right to Ahmad's favorite, unless Chimby wants to dump us the list.
Well, give
us some real facts, bro.
We'll get to the the list in a minute. There, I mean, there's only 2 people on the list: Alexander Wolf and somebody else. We'll talk about in a minute. But I just want to touch on this. Alexander Wolf, his contract was up. They didn't really have anything for him. They did 2 awesome things for him. They paid for his flight home. They paid for the flight, WWE did, and then they also compensated him and gave him some money. So I'm hoping he goes home, works out a little bit, gets a little better, and wrestles in the indies and maybe comes back someday. I'm hoping he can come back. And it was nice that WWE was like, hey, you released your contracts. Like, your contract's up. It wasn't even like you're released. Like, hey, your contract's up. Time's up. And they were like, all right, we're going to pay for your ticket and take care of you, make sure you're good, during this time. So, but I guess we can get into the other person because there's not really that much of a list.
You fake ass Prince duck walking bow-legged purple chocolate bunny corny motherfucker. Finally get the fuck out of my fucking company and off of my television. I don't want to hear no more about you. Patrick Clark, is that his fucking name?
DREAM, baby.
Fuck Velveteen Dream, yo. I never liked him, and it's cool. I got my own reasons. You don't gotta like every wrestler, but then some of the stuff came out. Allegedly, you pedophile bitch, alleged pedophile bitch. Anybody who I hear about fucking with kids, why are you even DMing children? Because this is what he admitted. He put a whole statement out. He told on himself with 2 different young men who are underage. As soon as you found out, and I'm talking to Patrick right now. I'm not talking to Velveteen Dream. I'm talking to Patrick. As soon as you found out how old these kids was, under 18, why are you sending them to a wrestling school? Why are you not telling them to do their fucking homework? Where are their parents? If you are sending them to a wrestling school, why aren't you talking to their parents about pointing them in the right direction? You R. Kelly ass motherfucker. How are you inboxing children? How are you responding to children? Why are you FaceTiming children just to prove it's you? Why are you trying to prove to a child that it's you? Just say fuck it and keep it moving. And that statement he put out, he told on himself to me. Because it's like, yo, I'm a grown-ass man. Ain't no little girl hitting me up, and I'm going to keep DMing her, telling her where to go to school without talking to her parents. I don't give a fuck what field I'm in. I damn sure ain't gonna be no little boy. You ain't his coach. That's an NCAA violation if you are a coach. That's not even allowed in the NCAA. And you DMing a child because you felt like, oh, I'm going to talk to my fans. And then he admitted, he's like, yo, my DM is open, but I'm not going to respond to everybody. But you're responding to little boys? And then in the DMs, and this is what he admitted, it's about your physique? Fuck you talk to a little boy about his physique for? I don't want to call him what I want to call him. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it because Najee going to edit this shit out anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be as politically fucking correct as I can. But yo, Velveteen Dream, Patrick, you's a fucking bitch. You should never be able to wrestle again. Guys like you and Joey Ryan, get the fuck up out of here, man. Wrestling is so positive for fans that dudes like you bring this nasty negativity into it. You fake Prince, purple chocolate bunny duck walking bow-legged motherfucker. You disgrace us. What y'all got for that?
You disgrace us. You disgrace us. Make me some pancakes, Prince. You ever wonder, like, if it's a coincidence or not that the time Velveteen Dream showed up, the New Day started using the pancakes, man? Maybe he did bring the whole Prince thing to.
Yo, bro, this shit is not even a joke, though. This dude is a piece of shit. And they kept him there forever after they released all these other people. And I've been saying this guy's a piece of shit for years. If you watch Tough Enough, he was a pompous, cocky little
I remember
punk
his
on there. He was a punk on there and he got kicked off.
Yeah, he got kicked off like a couple weeks in.
He's a fucking weirdo. That's the best word I could come up with that's PC right now. You fucking weirdo. He needs to swallow his tongue.
Well,
Shelby, what you got for that?
You know, I'm amazed they got rid of this guy now when they should have done it so long ago. Like, think about it. During the beginning of the pandemic, they got rid of a whole bunch of people. They got rid of Drake. All these people they got rid of because they're like, oh, money, this, that. It's like, well, this dude's being a creep over here. How about you get rid of him? And dudes have been let go for way less than that. So I'm amazed, kind of like WWE's business side, to be like, man, you're gonna have somebody work for you that did all that. I'm sorry, but if I own a wrestling company and it's a large wrestling company with the top of the world, and somebody's doing that, they gotta go. You know what I mean? They gotta go. And that guy's just a gross person. I'm hoping he does the same fate as Joey Ryan and never wrestles a show ever in his life. He should never wrestle a show. He should not be into the wrestling community. You know, just I'm betting. I'm gonna put a bet, and I'm put it over under, and I'm gonna go under 2 years. That Velveteen Dream will be in jail for something, doing something like what he was trying to do. Put it that way.
That's who I should call Kwame Brown on. I call Kwame Brown, yo, go take a look at this Velveteen Dream motherfucker and go whip his ass. Shouts out to Kwame Brown. All right, so let's get into some real wrestling, man. We talked about bitch-ass Velveteen and stupid-ass Buff Bagwell. Shouts out to Will Ospreay. I hope he makes a good decision that entertains all of us. But let's get into wrestling. Let's talk about it, man. The fallout from Backlash and bleeding into Raw. Did y'all enjoy the pay-per-view, first of all? Like, did y'all enjoy WrestleMania Backlash? I hate fucking saying that.
I thought Backlash was more like a filler episode from an anime, like I said. And it really didn't need to happen. It definitely didn't need to throw WrestleMania's name on it. It could have just been Backlash. I feel like that was probably like one of the biggest piss offs. But I do want to give a shout out to Natalya and Tamina. Even though they weren't on the pay-per-view when they won the belts, they should have been. That probably would have made the show just a bit better because everything else was hoop-de-doo.
Was that a pre-show match or that was a SmackDown match?
It was a SmackDown match.
Ah.
They handed the titles off on SmackDown.
Yeah, I really didn't like this pay-per-view. I thought it was like an E, like close. It was close to F. It was like an E pay-per-view. It was just like nothing big happening. the triple threat match they had way too early, and I mean the Roman Reigns match was great. Cesaro's working good, like he's doing his job, but once again he lost. So I just didn't. There was nothing really in this pay per view for me. It was just like it was like, hey, remember these matches? We're just gonna throw them together again. Here you go. Good luck.
I mean, the best match was the triple threat match, in my opinion. I tend to agree. I mean, I wouldn't give this shit an F. I'd give it a D plus C minus. But yeah, this was a filler pay per view, and let's keep it real. Backlash is always a filler pay per view, always. Just to bleed out from WrestleMania, and another way for them to make money off of a pay per view the next month. I'm sure it's one of the lowest selling pay per views, especially before the network, because everybody bought WrestleMania. And it's rare that we see anything real happen at Backlash because we have so many other pay-per-views ahead of us. Hell in a Cell, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, all that shit's coming up. So I didn't expect too much out of Backlash. That's why I gave it a C, because I wasn't expecting shit. But it wasn't great. What you got for that, Reg?
I mean, that's why I said like the whole thing wasn't bad. I enjoyed the Cesaro match. I'm actually surprised, very, very surprised it went down clean. Like no interference. Like yeah, Cesaro like legitimately lost.
Dog,
like
bro.
yeah, he has
He's the big dog.
Yeah, but Cesaro like not an easy task. But yeah, it's just we all know Cesaro's not really ready for the big spotlight. Yeah, not in Vince's eyes.
I disagree. Well, fuck Vince, but I disagree.
Well, no, like I said, in Vince's eyes. That's why I threw that right out there. I think I want the Cesaro section back, man. Like
Roman Reigns needs a challenger. He can't just keep running through everybody. There has to be a threat to his title. I disagreed with him losing clean. I'm not saying you put the belt on Cesaro at Backlash. I'm saying you protect Cesaro somehow, some way, somewhere. Whether it's with the Usos, whether it's Paul Heyman, whether it's a distraction, whether Roman Reigns does some underhanded shit, whether it's a DQ, something. But you don't build this guy up just to feed him to the dog and bury him. To me, that was almost a burial. I mean, Cesaro's really good, and he can come up out of this, and Raw kind of took us in another direction, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But this thing with Roman Reigns, I'm enjoying. I've enjoyed it. I'll say that. I've enjoyed the last year, what Roman Reigns has done, the work he's been doing. Don't let it get stale. He's running through some guys. Cool. Where's this going? There needs to be a threat, at least a threat to the title. I thought it was going to be Cesaro. I thought they would at least protect Cesaro in this match, leading to something bigger. But now they're doing some Orton Cena shit to us, and they're going back to Rollins and fucking Roman Reigns, yo. Tried and true.
So, on your opinion, there, like, who do you think would be like the biggest person on SmackDown, or that could actually return? The only person I could see returning.
It was supposed to be Cesaro.
The only person I could see returning is Lesnar.
It was supposed to be Cesaro. Ain't nobody looking at that. Nobody wants to see that.
We know we don't want to see it, but we also know that they show us a lot of stuff we don't want to see.
I know,
but they think it's good for money.
He would put him over too.
But like, do you risk making Brock the face?
No, you don't. No, look. Well, you would have to if you bring Brock back.
Right. That's what I mean.
But you don't. But you don't give Brock the title. To me, as a fan, there's no threat to Roman Reigns if you bring Brock back. That's just more Roman Reigns getting over. The threat was supposed to be Cesaro for me. It was supposed to be Cesaro was hot. He was killing it. He's coming for your belt. He's supposed to be a threat to the title, and he should have got that close to winning it because of some fuckery happened. They should have threw some fuckery in the match. They throw fuckery in every other match except for this one. I think they bury him by fucking the spear and the 1, 2, 3 is a burial. It justifies no rematch.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
and we could talk about this
later. He passed
later.
out to the guillotine, though. We're talking a little different here. When I say clean, like he just couldn't respond. Like he.
Yeah, that doesn't help his character like the way it helps Stone Cold Bret Hart. To me, that was a spear 1, 2, 3. He lost clean. That's it. I don't care how he lost clean. He lost. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later. But if you're looking at future threats to the title, they're all cruiserweights. Adam Cole and maybe a Finn Balor. So that's not no threat. And if it is a threat, what does that say about all these other guys? There's no new threat as Seth Rollins.
Stop you right there, because that's where the thing is. Maybe Cesaro is the real threat, but they're still trying to like build up a little bit more.
So
like,
why
get
Seth
Roman
Rollins
just another match, and he still has to go through Rollins. That gives us at least another good match between these two. Roman, man, somebody
Rollins
else to bury, and Cesaro, we could easily see him at SummerSlam.
No, man.
Or Money in the Bank. He could win Money in the Bank. Who knows?
Isn't it looking like Rollins is going after Reigns? Where does that leave Cesaro?
They're not making Rollins a face anytime soon.
No, they're not turning a face. It's going to be heel versus heel. What the fuck? You seen it? You seen them face to face? Ain't one of them dudes turning face. They both assholes. They're going to fight, and we're going to watch. And it's going to be good. But I'm saying, where does that leave Cesaro? Where do you
Money in the Bank?
So he could cash in at some point, I guess. So we got to wait for that because we got Hell in a Cell. We're going to get Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell then. That's what you're saying, right?
Maybe.
No, that's what you're saying, but I'm starting to like it.
Yeah, that's what the fuck
That's not the way. That's not the way they're going, is what I heard. It's going to be it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Jimmy Uso, because Jimmy Uso is not falling in line, so they're going to have the same match
they had last year again.
So, yep.
And why talk about it? Let's go to the next thing.
Right. So the next thing we go to is Raw. What happened on Raw after Backlash, which was great. Which was let's talk about the world title picture. The picture right there with Lashley's belt. What happened with that belt?
So y'all know how I felt about the 7 seconds of doom, right? Kofi Kingston working hard all these years gets an organic push because that shit came out of nowhere. It wasn't planned. It just happened, which is some of the best shit that can happen in wrestling, right? Almost like the Yes Movement. That all leads to WrestleMania where he wins the title, Kofi Mania. We all celebrate. It's a good thing. They don't change his character. He's still flopping around with his pancakes, so it didn't work. But he was still putting on these great-ass matches. Awesome matches. Feed him to Brock Lesnar, 7 seconds. Now, I'm not mad that they fed him to Brock Lesnar. I'm mad that people like AJ Styles. Hold on, bro. I'm mad that they fed him to him in 7 seconds when people like AJ Styles, Finn Balor, Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe, and to more of extent Roman Reigns, even though Roman Reigns is the main event guy. But all those other guys had way longer than 7 seconds with fucking Brock Lesnar. Why Kofi get trashed, not even on a pay-per-view, but on SmackDown, and never got a rematch. So at least they brought that shit back full circle and have Kofi say, well, Drew, what the fuck you talking about? You didn't get your one-on-one rematch. I never got any rematch. You got 2 or 3 chances to get the title back, and you failed. So it's my time to shine. Or at least it's my time to try to get a rematch for this title, too. It was for that title. So I like the storyline. Kofi and Drew are both great, and it's a contrast of styles like we saw last night on Raw. And we're going to get it again at a pay-per-view. I'm with it.
I even got to chime in on how much I am loving what's going on with my man Kofi right now. I've been a Kofi Kingston fan since the Boom Squad. Both of you notice I wore my Boom Squad shirt to WrestleMania when Kofi was winning the title. Yeah, I had the spinner on my shoulder. I was there for Kofi. Champ.
You wore that Boom Squad shirt when we went to WrestleMania 35?
Yes, I did. You don't remember that?
Nah, because it was cold as fuck. We were wearing jackets. I don't remember seeing the T-shirt.
I definitely had my Boom Squad shirt on, man. Like the old Jamaican
wait.
face in the front, like his old logo.
I hated that logo, man. That was so blackface looking.
Oh, it totally was, but you know, Jamaican me crazy, Kofi.
So I definitely didn't see that because I'd have made you take that shit off. That's bad luck, Reggie. He about to lose. But go
What are
ahead.
you talking about? I worked there. He won.
Hindsight is 2020. He won. But had I saw that shirt, I'm like, Reg, no, I'll buy you another shirt. You gotta take that bitch off.
I marked out hard. I had the Cena spinner belt.
I'd have bought you a Kofi Mania
Boom Squad shirt at the Bullet Club block party. We all took pictures. What are you talking about?
I don't even remember, bro. I was drunk at the Bullet Club.
Crime time. Look at the pictures, man. Yes, and for the record, for all you listeners,
cannabis.
Me and the Dark Show did meet. Shad and JTG. Another respect on this show right there, the Shad Gas part.
Go ahead, talk about your Kofi Kingston Mill fucking
Kofi
bromance,
man. Like the fact that it let him pin Bobby Lashley. I can jump into that right there. Yeah, now Drew's like, you little son of a bitch. Like, you would have done that without me. He's like,
that's a quick question.
WWE champ.
Matt, wait. Does that hurt Bobby Lashley? Him getting pinned by Kofi the prior week?
It might have if Kofi was not a former WWE champion. So the fact that Kofi stood up for himself right away next week.
Stop right there. Kofi lost to Brock Lesnar in 7 seconds and then pinned Bobby Lashley. That doesn't hurt Bobby Lashley. I'm just saying. Go ahead, answer. You go ahead. Talk your shit.
I gotta take it, bro. You kind of like you got me in a box here, man.
Certain things, man, I just don't like how they do certain wrestlers. That's all, man. Like that 7 second shit just bothered the fuck out of me when everybody else got such a better match with Brock. And Brock don't really have long matches, but he does 5 minutes.
We're talking about Brock Lesnar here. Let's remember
he does 5 minutes. He did 5-10 minutes with AJ and Samoa Joe.
Can I take you back a couple SummerSlams to Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton?
He fucked Randy up.
I don't think anybody kept time on that match. It wasn't
7 seconds though.
But it wasn't a match either.
Bro, everybody knows how long that Kofi match was. Because it was 7
it was on
seconds.
Public television. The first match on
Fox. It was
Fox.
The first match on Fox, right.
First match on Fox.
Is a title match. And they did that man dirty as fuck. They can't. There's no excuse for there's certain things the WWE does there's no excuse for. There's no excuse for putting Triple H over Sting at WrestleMania. There's no excuse for having Kofi Kingston. You build him up organically for all that time. He builds up this whole big thing, and you still got him throwing pancakes, even though he's winning matches and defending the title all summer.
Throwing pancakes.
But you got him throwing pancakes, flopping around, skipping around and shit. Fuck that. You should have changed this character when he won the belt. But they didn't.
They could have easily sent him heel again. Like, what's the
Brock,
New Day?
And the
New Day was his only heel turn.
And they had Brock motherfucking Lesnar beat the pancake frisbee thrower in 7 seconds. That shit whack. But at least he's getting a shot again, like I said. He's getting a shot again against Drew. But, man, he's still throwing pancakes, as far as I'm concerned. He's still skipping around. What main eventer had such a comedy character like that? That's like Santino winning a world title. I don't like that shit, yo.
Yeah, I still remember the one Royal Rumble where I was cheering.
I mean, that's how you know the motherfucker.
Alberto Del Rio out. And you were like, hell no, that ain't happening.
This is how you know when somebody isn't going to have the belt for long, is when they don't evolve the character. They just keep him as this guy. Like, at least Cesaro, his character has evolved a lot. And when he got to this main event, there was even a second evolution from the whole WrestleMania storyline before, during, and after. No, Kofi's still throwing pancakes, and he loses to Brock Lesnar in 7 seconds on SmackDown. I'm happy he's getting his title match or his possible rematch to a title that he never got a rematch for. But let's keep it real. He's not getting that bitch back. Next topic.
I just want to speak real quick about Kofi Kingston. I think they're doing a good thing right now. I think that I really don't know which way it's going to go because there's one big thing happening. The big thing is WWE is going to be touring in Dallas. So if you give Kofi the belt back and they're in front of fans, you might get that reaction that they wanted back then. Because you remember when he won the belt, it wasn't like a Daniel Bryan thing. Not everybody else. People were standing up excited, but people weren't throwing their arms in the air, going crazy, going nuts. It was completely different, you know. So I like what they're doing. I think what they're going to do is this next match is going to be for number one contendership. I think they're going to have some screw job ending happen, and they're probably going to have a triple threat versus Bobby Lashley. I think this goes two ways. I don't think it's going to go McIntyre. I think it's going to make Lashley Lashley look strong.
Wait. So let me ask you a question, bro.
Go ahead.
You're saying the triple threat with Kofi, Lashley, and Drew?
Yes.
We all know where that's going.
Yeah, with Bobby Lashley.
Bringing in Kofi to get pinned to protect the other two.
I mean, that could be, or it could be Drew McIntyre could get pinned this time. If they would change it up. I mean, Kofi just got in the title picture on Raw. If you're in the title picture, you're at least in it for a couple months.
Bullshit.
It's completely different. It's completely different than SmackDown.
That's bullshit.
Braun Strowman. I mean, you learned though. Braun Strowman. He was He was on the title picture on top of the show for a couple months.
He's 7 feet tall, 385 pounds. It's a little different when they're big guys. Okay. This guy's here. Well, they're using Kofi the same way they use Daniel Bryan. Let's be honest.
That's why I think
put on a good match and get pinned.
Could be.
He's gonna pin both of them. Is that what you're saying? They're gonna remake the whole Roman Reigns WrestleMania?
No. Lashley's just gonna fuck Kofi up and pin him. The same way it happened with Strowman. They can just keep it going with Kofi.
Or how about Drew McIntyre, Claymore as Bobby, Kofi throws him out the ring and steals the title?
I'd be cool with Kofi winning the title as long as he's not throwing pancakes.
He gets
the next
2-time and then he takes
it back. As long as he's not coming out the next week flopping pancakes and skipping around like a little fucking fairy bitch, then I can believe that he's a world champion. I'll be fine with it. But we all know that's not going to happen. He could pin them both like Roman did on top of each other. They still going to have that dude coming out here wearing rainbows and throwing pancakes. Fuck out of here, man.
Rock them unicorns, baby.
Baby! Before we move on to Friday night, I think we got to talk about one more thing on Monday Night Raw, and that one more thing is Sheamus, the work he's doing right now.
Yeah, man, I think nobody, at least in our field, this podcast shit, nobody's talking about Sheamus and the work he's doing. We always talk about how these veterans don't ever want to put young guys over or give young guys a chance. So that, between Sheamus, his feud with Ricochet and Humberto, he's making them guys look really good. And at the same time, he's looking really good. Sheamus is doing some of his best work right now. I mean, we've seen Sheamus in his prime, right? Like, we've seen world title Sheamus against, the Cenas and all that. This Sheamus right here, even the League of Nations, that Sheamus was really good too. Don't get me fucked up. But this Sheamus right here, he's doing some of his best stuff in ring work and microphone work. But again, and I'm gonna say this for real, like he's almost Jericho-esque, where he evolves depending on the times and the spot. Because we've seen this guy go from Sheamus O'Shaughnessy in NXT all the way to Sheamus, this dominant guy, winning the titles against John Cena. Fast forward all that shit, all the mid-card titles and bullshit to the Bar, which is an awesome tag team, very underrated. Then he goes through injuries, goes through a bunch of other mid-card title shit, and he elevates this U.S. title. After Bobby Lashley had already elevated it, he took it and carried that shit almost to another level. Because the U.S. title a year ago wasn't shit. Now he's putting on great matches with great young wrestlers, and I'm enjoying it. Yo, shouts out to Sheamus because he's not getting no props right now.
Huberto Carrillo. I know who you're talking about. I'm just saying
I said
Huberto
Humberto,
Carrillo,
right?
like this dude has been buried
Wait. Is it
just
Humberto
about everybody
or
in
Humberto? I speak English. It's Humberto, motherfucker.
No, I said Huberto because no one knows who he is.
Right.
Like that's why I'm saying like his name was Huberto Carrillo before he started this actual grudge with Sheamus because he got buried by Andrade, buried by Angel Garza. Yeah, step up for the fam. Then he just disappears, and then he's like, "Oh, whose cool music is this?" Oh, and the announcers knew who he is, but we don't know who he is. Then now he's like showing up every week, taking that ass whooping. Sheamus has definitely been tossing out to everybody that's 205 Live esque because he seems to be only going against high flyers right now that he can bro kick in the face while they're doing a sort of flip. But I haven't really seen Sheamus take a real opponent on yet. In his case, this is only either a push for Humberto. It definitely was not for Ricochet, even though Ricochet's been entertaining the hell out of me the past couple of weeks, still in Sheamus's hat and coat and all that stuff. But
you know where they got that from, right? That's a direct rip because Jake Paul during a press conference between Floyd Mayweather, he took his hat and said, "I got your hat." So I thought it was kind of corny, but go ahead.
Is that really why they took that? So they just threw the trench coat in? Like
they did that. Yeah, it is a direct rip.
Well, no, you just kind of cut off my whole fact.
No, I'm saying it's not a coincidence that the fucking Paul was just on WWE and he does that with Floyd Mayweather and then they copy him. I mean, it's obvious, bro. You know what I'm saying? But yo, I'm gonna touch on something you said real quick, and I agree with everything you said. What are they doing with Angel Garza though? At one point in time, weren't they trying to compare this guy to Eddie Guerrero? What the fuck are they doing with him?
Apparently, shoving roses up Drew Gulak's ass is a thing now. Like, he just likes putting roses places on Drew Gulak where they don't belong. I hope his character goes somewhat past that. Maybe that's his new, I don't want to say $1 million man kind of thing because, like Ted DiBiase obviously got his own thing going on right now. But that's definitely a way to make your mark unique. As far as what are they trying to build him as the heel, the face? I can't even figure that out. So I don't know what to say about Angel Garza.
I don't think they know what the fuck they're doing with him. Just like they don't know what the fuck they're doing with Ricochet. But I am enjoying Sheamus, and he's making these young guys look good. You know, it's like that's the fun part of wrestling. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it's one thing when Monday Night Raw is one of the shows that people have not been excited about, and now this is getting Monday Night Raw is actually getting a lot better. Like I like all shows, but Raw for a point, I was like, man, a lot of these are the same stale matches all the time. Now they kind of change it up. Like I was excited to see Humberto Carrillo. I was excited to see Ricochet fight Sheamus. Sheamus is, you know, a veteran. He's definitely a veteran of the ring by now. He's been in the ring for a long time. He's doing something different, being a champion heel. I was kind of afraid that him and Riddle were going to have a long storyline, and instead they didn't. And instead he's pushing these guys over. I don't know if it's the writers or Sheamus saying, "Hey, you've done nothing with these guys. What about these guys? They work good. They know what they're doing. Give me them. I'll help. I'll show them. I'll help them out." You know what I mean, like what people used to do back in the day. I'm a veteran. You're a young cat coming in. You need help with a few things. Let me help you. Let me have these good matches. And I like the work that Sheamus is doing right now.
I think Riddle got put in the doghouse. Period.
You say that. They're pushing Riddle like pretty nice right now with RK Bro, man. He just did his first RKO this Monday night.
I'm pretty sure Randy is going to RKO the fuck out of him and then beat him in some kind of singles match going down 100% to teach him a lesson.
Not yet, though. I think that they're in one of those mentorish tag teams. Like
I think he's
trying to bring him more into the squared circle style of ring because Riddle's
he's about to get humbled. And
it's gonna happen. But I think they're gonna put on a hell of a match at the same time.
In the words of Kevin Hart, he gonna learn today that you can't, like, you're not bigger than this business or this company. And I granted that it's good that he's thinking outside of the box and like being his own person, is walking to the beat of his own drum. But you either get down or lay down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to just be out here acting like an asshole, forgetting your lines, talking shit about legends and all that, thinking that you're the shit, thinking like you're the best wrestler ever outside of kayfabe, and not get humbled. I think Randy Orton's the perfect person to bring this fucking weirdo down to earth. And I think that's what's going on. I think he lost the title to Sheamus. It's not like they had a feud. It's not like there was a storyline involved in that. They moved on. They put him with Randy, which is only tells me that's like tag teaming with Shawn Michaels. You're going to get super kicked eventually. Your ass is getting dropped, man. He's going to RKO him viciously, and it might lead to a feud where now we can get Riddle pushed a little bit more and back over again. But I think he goes back to the bottom. Honestly, I think he's still on his way down. He has a ways to go before he comes back up. Honestly,
take that one, Jim.
I mean, I think that Riddle, I'm kind of happy that they didn't have a big feud with Sheamus or Riddle, because it would have really, I think, ruined the show. And I like that Randy Orton's either doing two things. He's either going to RKO this guy, or he's teaching him right now, and then he's going to RKO him. But sooner or later, he's going to get RKO. They're probably going to have, here's what I think's going to happen. You go down the line and have a tag team title match, and guess what? That's the night that Riddle's going to get his head topsy-turvy and turned inside out. It's the only way it's going. And then when that can happen, Randy Orton can be a heel, Riddle can be the heel. A lot of things in storyline mode are set up right now for when they return to fans. And I think this is something that's really set up for when they return to fans. They can have that huge fan reaction to when Randy Orton finally RKO's Riddle. And believe me, that's probably going to be one of those RKOs we see and be like, ooh, like, it is not going to be nice. So that's what I think's going on there.
All right, so let's run through a couple things real quick before we get out of WWE. Rhea and Charlotte, I'm honestly not that excited for what's going on with the storyline. I think they put on a great match, though. So there's not really much to talk about there. I do think if they have now, are they having a Hell in a Cell match? Yeah, so I am down with that. But all this build-up shit, their storyline is bullshit. Just have the fucking match. And Aleister Black, that's what I want to talk about. What do y'all think about his new character? Is it bullshit? Is it going to last long? Is Vince going to bury it in 3 weeks? He's going after Big E, it looks like. So who are we pushing here? Are we pushing Big E? Or are we pushing Aleister? Somebody got to go over.
They're obviously trying to bring Aleister back into the picture. Why they decided to bury Big E so fast after his little rise up, you know what I mean? Only Vince knows. As far as Aleister's new character, what new character? I still see the same Aleister Black. He's just reading books now. He's still the same thing. The only thing I haven't seen yet is an entrance to make me see that he's different. But otherwise, he's the same darkest character, same finishing moves, same dark and brooding. He's just not asking someone to pick a fight with him. That's the only thing I see different.
You know what I think the WWE's problem is with characters? There's only so many ideas you can come up with, right? There's only so many characters you can have. WWE's lack of stables, like other companies would have, hurts them. Because you could have a guy like Aleister Black and put him with Bray Wyatt. You can put Bray Wyatt and then you could put him with, bring Finn Balor. He's a demon. You could have a whole faction full of fucking demon devil motherfuckers and they would all get over together. But separately, they don't get over. It's like their tag team division and shit. They focus so much on the top individual guys that they end up with so many individual guys that most of them fall to the wayside. My question to y'all is, do you see anything in this Aleister Black reset or refresh that can lead him further than where he was already? Is this guy headed? Does he have main event potential, or is he going to flame out in a month?
You want to toss that, Tim, or should I take that? Because I got something. All right. As far as I'm looking at it, I feel that Aleister Black is nothing but a male Alexa Bliss on SmackDown. He's playing this little creeping character that just like comes in, like,
Alexa,
but he's more direct because he's a
dude. Actress when it comes to that shit.
Huh?
Alexa Bliss is a hell of an actress. Like, her character is like, she's awesome. I don't think Aleister Black holds a fucking candle to Alexa Bliss when it comes to promo work.
Then he's a wannabe. Yes. Because I told you that Aleister Black hasn't changed. So I'm not sure where I said anything wrong. Aleister Black hasn't changed. It's just what he's doing now seems Alexa and Lily-ish.
So what, he's gonna get buried in a couple of weeks is what you're saying? Like, the shit ain't gonna work?
Yeah, like he'll have a standard. What do they put it like? WWE 2K19. That was the last one we actually played, right? So like that, what they have?
2K20 was hot garbage.
Yeah, 2K20 was hot garbage. Like 2K19 was the best game, and they had 12-week to 16-week rivalries. Maybe he gets a pay-per-view and a half. It sounds like his whole shit's gonna end with a SmackDown match.
So he's gonna go over on Big E. Say he goes over on Big E. One, where does he go from there? And two, where does that leave Big E?
My question exactly, because why have built Big E up so much good on his singles just to bury him again? I don't approve. As far as Aleister Black goes, he hasn't really done anything there. Like, oh, you can read. You're a role model for kids now. Great.
I think they do this all to stars that have to get back in the title picture. They put him with somebody who's a bad guy. Like Cesaro, for example, was a great example of this. He put Cesaro with Seth Rollins. He beat Seth Rollins, and he moved to the top dude, Roman Reigns. Now, he didn't win that match, but I think that Big E is the same type of thing. I mean, if Aleister Black whoops the crap out of Big E and beats him, they'll probably have 2 pay-per-view matches. In the second one, Big E looks great and can go back and fight for the IC belt. But this could be a thing where this is Aleister Black now. It's his chance, his time. They kind of waited for a long time to do.
I think they'll give them 2 pay-per-views.
They're doing now.
If they're doing what you're saying they're going to do with Aleister Black, they're not going to get 2 pay-per-view matches. He's going to dominate Big E. Big E go back to the back of the line, and they're going to push Aleister Black to wherever he's going to go. That's what it sounds like. Why even introduce this new character? Why even do this to have to job him out, right? So he's going to go over on Big E. Why have a rematch? And push him some more and then bury him like you did Bray Wyatt. That's what I say.
Maybe they're just like gonna accept that the New Day was like a better thing. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna go back on their word. Maybe they can. Like, who knows what they're gonna do with Big E? Like you said, he goes back to the back of the line. But that's only until the next draft.
Yeah, they need a draft. Some of these guys, they got to switch it up, because and I disagree with the booking anyway. You don't put Aleister Black with Big E. Like, that's not, like, you're supposed to get both those guys over. Somebody's going to suffer, and it's not going to be Aleister Black because you're just reintroducing him to everybody. So you're not going to reintroduce somebody to bury him or to have him go down to somebody who's already over.
But then they just do that. They just did that with Carmella. Didn't they not?
Carmella. With who?
Carmella. Didn't Carmella get reintroduced?
Carmella's still kind of going like strong. Like, I can see her being like another Money in the Bank.
Sasha Banks. She lost to her.
So Sasha Banks is a champion now.
They do what they want with the characters. Yeah, Sasha Banks is a champion, but they do what they want with the characters. They've reintroduced so many different characters. They
it doesn't work,
and they lose.
They have to realize at some point that it doesn't work. You can't get both guys over in this situation. In my opinion,
I just want to say here and there, Sasha has to have the actual title defense. I dropped my mic.
She does have a title defense.
Not often.
No, she has like 3. She has more title reigns than title defenses.
They announced she'll be returning. Her and Edge will be returning on the July 16th SmackDown, which is the live SmackDown with fans in Texas. So that's when she's returning. It's going to take a little bit for her to get back, you know.
Yeah, that sounds like a super spreader event. Anyway, what we got next? So let's get out of WWE, man. I'm kind of sick of talking about.
Let's move on to tonight. Why not? Tonight, wonderfulness. NXT. It was wonderful.
So we're still talking about WWE. Go ahead, y'all run it down.
All right, well, we're going to talk about it. So let's talk. So the 3 things I saw big, Reg, that were happening were finally Frankie Monet, Taylor Valkyrie, finally debuted. She won. She looked great. She looked amazing. She has looked good this whole time. The second big thing I saw was the triple threat match they're announcing for number 1 contendership, which is Kyle O'Reilly, Johnny Gargano, and oh god, one of them was missing, having a headache for a second guy. The third guy. Who's the third guy in that match? Remember?
Johnny Gargano.
Gargano.
Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
And the bruiserweight, Pete Dunne.
And Pete Dunne, exactly. And then we had our main event, you know, which let's talk about all 3 of those things right now.
Hey man, which one do we skip to? Like, cause we might as well skip to the main event because too much didn't happen on there. Unless you want to go back. Actually, no. Let's not start the main event. Let's start at money. How about my man Ted DiBiase and the $1 million face-off, which really wasn't much of a face-off until like LNA came into it. But I just love like that Ted DiBiase is just being that old slick gangster again. And you can obviously see that WWE is trying to take a little bit of spunk or attitude from AEW because now they want to bring in some legend mentors. Because I can easily see that's where Ted DiBiase is going in this particular case. He's trying to motivate him, and they're both in the money game. And next thing you know, we're going to see Ted DiBiase and Cameron Grimes because Cameron Grimes needs something. And I think Ted DiBiase is that little push he needs. And we could see a lot more of that popping out of WWE pretty soon. What do you think?
I mean, I really like this mentorship. What's going on in WWE right now? Like a lot of legends, when they pop up, they're helping out these young stars. That's what should be happening. Like if you're a legend and you've done your time and you've done everything, it's time to come back and help certain people. And Cameron Grimes, like since the summertime, I liked Cameron Grimes' impact. You know, he was good there, but I really liked him in summertime. Just like I was excited just to see the man talk. If you can come out and not wrestle and they're on the mic talking, you deserve and getting people's attention, and you don't have a belt, you are one of the top people I enjoy. Like I love Cameron Grimes, so I really enjoyed Ted DiBiase coming. I like that they're doing all that, and it was even my favorite part was backstage before he came out. People were trying to talk to him, and Robbie or whatever comes up with like his crew or whatever. And Ted DiBiase picks a whole bunch of money up and throws at him and did his laugh. And I was like, oh, that's so great. Like that's, you know, they don't need to do too much, these legends. If you know who they are, and if you're a wrestling fan, they don't got to go over. But helping out these young talents is really good, you know. Let's move on to Frankie Monet's debut. What did you think of her, Reg?
I actually did not get a chance to see Mrs. John Morrison wrestle tonight. I was away for that match, so I don't have a lot of input there. Sorry.
Well, you missed a great match, and that's probably, I'm going to make a prediction now, that's probably going to be the next NXT Women's Champion. Like, Raquel Diaz doesn't really have, they have a lot of women talent there, but they don't have somebody that's believable beating her. It's some
Gonzalez, man.
Yeah, if somebody,
Raquel Gonzalez.
Raquel Gonzalez, if somebody really short tried to beat her, it wouldn't make sense. It would be kind of silly. Frankie Monet is big enough and has, the ability to beat her, so it would be more believable. All right, well, moving
Her
on
character,
to that.
I just want to chime in right there. Her character is so much believable to make it happen. I just want to point that out right there. Like before you just toss the mic on that one. Like Frankie Monet is probably the next one taking that belt off her because Mercedes Martinez is the most brutal woman in NXT outside Raquel Gonzalez, and she already took her down clean.
Yo, so is Io Shirai getting a call up so she can get called up, not know how to speak English and talk on the mic and get fired eventually? So what's going on?
I am Oscar Jr.
I'm not sick.
Well, there's a lot. Like these next few weeks, there's going to be a lot of NXT call-ups, and we're going to rush right to it a little bit. But the NXT Championship match was tonight. The men's championship, and once again, Karrion Kross won the belt. I kind of saw that coming with all the news I've heard about Finn Balor the past few days, where Finn Balor is ready to come back to the main roster. And in my opinion, he looks ready. You could have a match with any one of those dudes up there, and it'd be an amazing match. And it'd be one of those matches where somebody better, like some of these guys are on the main roster, they may get ready to fight Finn Balor when he comes back up, because you don't want to be laying on the mat looking like old ass Undertaker's end of the match, all beer belly out, like trying to breathe. Finn Balor has been having amazing matches with everyone. Tonight was another great match. No screw job, just a great match.
I mean, it's about time for the WWE universe to forget about the Demon, meet the Prince. We all knew who the Prince was.
Wait. Finn Balor literally just said the other day that he feels like the Demon still has a lot of life left in him.
Oh, that's cool, but the Prince needs to show himself. The Prince, the WWE universe knows nothing about the Prince. Only NXT does. He needs to come back as the real Prince Devitt and be just like that. Forget the Demon for a little bit.
That's what Finn Balor was when he wasn't the Demon. He didn't call himself that, but
he didn't call himself that, right? He didn't identify it, but now he does. And when you identify yourself like that on the mic, it's a difference when you don't. Because all he ever talked about was the Demon. He seemed like a dude that just wanted to go dress up in private. But now he's actually forgetting, the Demon exists inside him.
I think the Demon is how he gets over on the main roster.
The Prince is the Demon.
I think that only works in NXT. I think the Demon is how he gets over on the main. I think the Demon is how he gets over on the main roster because nobody gave a fuck about Finn Balor before when he wasn't the Demon. He's going to come back and call himself the Prince and just be the same leather jacket wearing motherfucker. Nobody's going to give a fuck about that.
The Demon was Jeff Hardy on steroids.
No, it wasn't. First of all, come on, man. The Demon can't hold a candle to Jeff Hardy in his prime. Period.
I'm talking about makeup wise. He took that shit to another level. The only one I can think of Finn Balor.
Hold on, let's not get off topic, bro. Bro. Let's not get off topic. The Prince was already on the main roster. He didn't call himself the Prince. He was when he was Finn Balor. When he wasn't the Demon, he was the same motherfucker that he was. He just wasn't calling himself the Prince. It's the same dude who didn't work on the main roster before. I think Finn Balor's key to success is being the Demon on the main roster. Because otherwise, it's the same dude doing the same shit. He's going to get buried again. Because he's fucking 140 pounds.
Yeah, so we're gonna jump you when you're Clark Kent because we don't like fighting Superman. Yeah, that gimmick's gonna keep going so far.
It's not that. I don't think it's that. I think when he's not the Demon, he's headed straight to the mid card on the main roster.
Okay, well we used to get the Demon during every pay-per-view match or title match, and then they just stopped it.
Right. So think about it. The Demon was the main eventer. Finn Balor was the mid-carder.
Kofi Mania, I didn't have enough energy left to cheer for the Demon. The WrestleMania was too long.
We got the Demon at that WrestleMania? Yeah. That shit was so fucking long, bro. I can't even think about all the goddamn matches. It was raining. It was cold. Wasn't no bitches. It was horrible, man.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's usually more bitches. There was more bitches at the beach party. No, the block party than it was at WrestleMania. Yeah, so there were 40,000 people at WrestleMania, and 39,998 of them dudes. But we go to the fucking block party, and there's 400 people, and there was like 100 chicks. So
we on topic again. Tim,
no, we're not off topic.
Who do you think's coming in to take the NXT before we?
We ain't off topic.
Before we. We get into the block party, bro. We can talk about the block party all day. The
we weren't talking about block party. We're actually talking about WrestleMania and how ain't no bitches that be at WrestleMania. Right,
but we trying to finish it up NXT and get to the next.
You should do a top five pay-per-views where there's bitches.
Jim, who do you think is coming in number where it said?
Well, I do want to chime in on one thing that Mod just said there, the Dark Horse. I'm going to say top 5 where the bitches are wrestling, the Hog Wild event, but some of those women you don't want to look at. So anyway, going back to NXT, the triple threat match that we saw, we're going to see, I think Johnny Gargano is going to actually win. I think Johnny Gargano dropped the belt to move back on to the main title picture. I don't think Kyle O'Reilly or Pete Dunne really didn't do anything. I think they're probably going to have a new or continue their whatever feuds going on. But I think Johnny Gargano is going to be back in the picture, and Karrion Kross is going to whoop him again. He's just going to keep destroying people until it's time for him to move up to the main roster.
Let me ask you a question on that. Are they just using Kyle O'Reilly to feed him to Karrion Kross, or does it look like they're actually going to try to do something with Kyle O'Reilly? Because we've been clowning him for looking like freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy and shit. What was we call him? Orange O'Reilly? Kyle Cassidy? Looks like a dick. Look.
From Concentrate. Kyle O'Reilly.
What are
not freshly squeezed, from Concentrate.
Look, they can do a whole lot with Karrion Kross. I get it. He can squash a whole lot of fucking people. What are they doing with Kyle O'Reilly though? Like, what are they doing with him? Is he going to be a top face? Is he eventually going to get called up? Are they going to give him a title? Because it looks like they don't know what the fuck they want to do with him. It looked pretty good after he beat Adam Cole at TakeOver. Now it seems like they're lost.
Well, that's where tonight's NXT kind of comes into play. And I can also see like what they're possibly building up. But tonight's match between Bobby Fish and Pete Dunne ended with it ended clean. Like he beat him with the bitter end. Pete Dunne beat him. Oney Lorcan just gets in the ring and starts beating the shit out of Bobby Fish. And last week, when the same thing happened to Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish came out. This week, Kyle O'Reilly did jack. So I can see maybe them like just sparring it the hell out all on their own, man. Maybe the whole Undisputed just stays down there forming little singles careers on their own for a little bit, because Adam Cole said he's not done with NXT. Kyle O'Reilly is obviously trying to be Kyle O'Reilly, not from Concentrate.
Wait, so you think Adam Cole's not getting called up, bro?
Yes.
Come on, man. Okay.
No, not immediately is my point. He wouldn't be cutting all these NXT vignettes if he wasn't meaning to stay there for a little bit longer.
I think that's just a build for him to go main roster.
Maybe it is. That would be awesome, man. Believe me.
Because what is there left? I mean, he already went out on his back. He's done everything there is to possibly do.
He has, but so is Johnny Gargano, and he's still there.
He's going through a character evolution. Did you just compare Adam Cole to Johnny Gargano?
I'm just saying, as far as if you want to compare accolades and not
we're not comparing
skills
accolades,
and character.
So
accolades wise, Johnny Gargano has them beat. Oh, I know you hate that, Najee. This is for you, bro. Do not edit this part out of this show.
Listen, bro. Let's just keep it real. Johnny Gargano will never be on the main roster, and if he is on the main roster, he's going to be Jamie Noble.
205 Live.
He's going to be Jamie Noble. Let's keep it. Let's think about that. If Adam Cole gets to the main roster, his potential is Shawn Michaels. So, like, you know, I have ceilings and the floors, right? So Adam Cole's ceiling is Shawn Michaels. His floor is like Dolph Ziggler, right? Johnny Gargano's ceiling is Jamie Noble. His floor is Johnny Gargano.
I completely disagree there. Johnny Gargano's ceiling is Daniel Bryan.
That's a lie.
That's not a lie.
They're lying.
They're both two of the most technical wrestlers in the ring. It's just that Johnny Gargano does not have anywhere near the muscle mass Daniel Bryan does.
Muscle mass.
If you put him on the same stage, he can perform.
He doesn't have the skills.
Are you what?
You're comparing him to Daniel Bryan, the American Dragon?
Yes, I'm comparing him to Bryan Danielson.
He's like his son.
I'm comparing Johnny Gargano to Bryan Danielson.
Johnny Gargano is Bryan Danielson's son.
I say bastard child.
No, okay, it's his son.
So at least we agree on something.
No, it's his son. That's his son. Like Johnny Gargano wishes.
He's like, Daddy, I'm going to show you I can wrestle.
He wishes he was Daniel Bryan. He might look up to him. He idolizes. You ain't never see Daniel Bryan wearing football pads to wrestle a fat dude. Johnny Gargano, first of all, would never have the crowd backing that Daniel Bryan had. He's not.
I completely disagree.
He's not as charismatic at all. Johnny Gargano, you can put Daniel Bryan with Kane and make it work. We've seen that.
Do the words Johnny Wrestling mean nothing to you, or is it just because you're distracted by Johnny Manziel?
That sounds like some corny ass. That's some corny ass bullshit that NXT Marks came up with.
Hey, the marksman is here, bro. Sorry, I'm on the show. You're gonna have to hear from us.
You're on the show, and I'm about to turn the lights out and make it dark. Because unfortunately,
there's always a light.
Unfortunately for you, marks of pipsqueaks, they only go so far. Johnny Gargano sucks on the microphone. Number one, I don't give a fuck what y'all say. He's a great wrestler. That's it. That's all he is.
What else does he need?
He needs to talk on a mic. He needs better character development.
He found the way.
Hold on. He's about to be borderline Bret the fuck Hart. His match is starting to look the same.
Okay, so maybe he can have like another.
Don't wait. Are you making excuses for him, or are you making suggestions?
I'm making. He can make it, bro. He's the only.
So hold on. Let me ask you this. You want to compare him to Daniel Bryan?
I am going to compare him to Daniel Bryan.
A man who main evented WrestleMania against two legends and won.
I was there for both of Daniel Bryan's main events.
Because of the fucking fan. No, fuck that Sheamus, Sean. Because the Sheamus Daniel Bryan in 18 seconds, that's
I'm not talking Sheamus. I'm talking the Triple H. I'm talking Randy Orton, Batista, and I was there for Kofi. If you don't remember, you were there.
I was there for Kofi, first of all.
So
I'm not talking about that one because that was about Kofi. The one against Randy Orton and Batista, and before that Triple H, that was about Daniel Bryan and the fans doing that for him. That wasn't in the plans. The plan was for Batista and Randy Orton to fight for that title.
Kofi wasn't in the plans either.
Yo, bro, let me finish. Daniel Bryan, and you're making my point with that. No fucking fans getting behind no fucking Johnny Gargano and pushing him to the main event of WrestleMania, bro. That'll never happen.
Yo,
you guys think just because a guy can get it done in the ring means he's a main eventer? You're wrong.
How many years do you want to put on this bet? We could bury like 200. We could bury $200 right now. And the second that Johnny Gargano wins,
$1,000.
We got 10 years on this show.
I bet you $1,000 that Johnny Gargano will never win the WWE World Title or the Universal Title for the rest of his fucking career. Ain't no 10 years. That nigga can wrestle for 50 years. He ain't winning that bitch. He damn sure ain't main event no WrestleMania. What you want to bet? I bet you $1,000 a year, bro. Every year they go by, it's add 1,000 until it happens. And when it don't happen, and when his ass is riding off to the sunset as an 18-time North American champion, as a 5-time NXT World Champion, and as a 26-time NXT Tag Team Champion, and he would be the U.S. champion for a day. When that happens and he leaves and they put him in the Hall of Fame 25 years after he retires and he dies, you're going to owe me a lot of money, bro.
All right, so see, you're just getting out of hand with it. Remember, this is a wrestling fan cast. How about we bet one belt per year?
You don't have it. You can't make that up.
Huh?
You don't have the fucking equity for that.
One belt per year.
You don't have it. It's going to be longer than 6 years for that dude. He's never winning the WWE World title. He's never
every year that he doesn't win the belt,
the world title. So you're going to buy me a belt every year? Bro, come on, man. Don't do it. Don't make that bet.
No.
That's going to be a lot of belts. That's all I'm saying.
Stack.
It's a lot of belts.
Bro, you're going to owe me 15 titles. He'll never win any of those belts that's behind you. I know the fans can't see it. He'll never win. He'll win that one belt that's behind you, the NXT title. He's already won it. That's it. He'll get it again and again and again and again.
No, you're not getting some like ransom hold. Like, no, you know, I'm not. I'm not some extortion.
Look, the man is a good wrestler. The man is a good wrestler. You can say he's a great wrestler in the ring. He doesn't have good character. He doesn't have the fan base. He doesn't have microphone skills. He doesn't have the look.
I'm not debating.
What does he? He has in the ring skills. That's it. That's why he's always going to be where he's at. I tell this to Najee all the time. Just because he's a great wrestler and you like him doesn't mean he's going to be world champion. There are some bad wrestlers who are excellent promo guys who are world champions. Johnny Gargano, he checked one fucking box, bro. One. He can wrestle. Cool. Give him the NXT fucking North American title 100 times. He can put on a great match in the second or third to last match on the card. He can even give you a main event once every 2 years. But don't sit there and compare him to Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, he is looking like he's going to be the R-Truth of the North American Championship.
You're not going to compare him to Daniel Bryan. You can't. That's his son.
Jimmy, how many times has R-Truth had their 24/7 championship?
29.
Too many.
I think it's
29. Too many. But that's a different belt. The North American Championship is a little different than that.
Look, it's all good. But, we don't belabor this. And
I tried to change the topic. I was getting a little too heated on
anyway.
like.
No, I'm not getting heated. Y'all overvalue these fucking dudes, man. Like they're not that fucking good. Bret Hart
I am one that appreciates technical wrestling, so like
Bret Hart's
I think
not
the dudes
that
that
good.
can actually get in, like Gargano, Bryan, Hart. That I appreciate.
Owen Hart's not that fucking
everybody
good.
of the collegiates. I appreciate what they can do.
No,
that they keep it simple. They're not tricky.
You guys mix up fandom with talent. See, my thing is just like and God rest his soul, I was never a Kobe Bryant fan. Never. I was never a Michael Jordan fan. Never. I'm a Sixers fan. But I recognize their talent. I recognize the fact that these guys are that great. But even though I don't like them. And my favorite list, like we took a list of my favorite wrestlers and a list of guys who I think were the best of all time, they're way different, except for one guy. They're way different because my favorites aren't the same as the best. Y'all commingle that shit like it's cool. Just because you like somebody don't mean he's good. Sorry. It don't work like that, yo. Like, just because you like Bastion Booger doesn't mean he's one of the best wrestlers ever. Period. You could like Tugboat and Earthquake all you want. You could like Bryan Adams and Trevor Murdoch and fucking Disco Inferno All you want. Those could be your favorite wrestlers, but you can't tell me they're some of the best of all time. You can love Johnny Gargano all day until the cows come home. He's a great wrestler, but don't fucking tell me that this guy's a future world champion. He's not even a future Hall of Famer, bro. We don't have to belabor because now you're going to edit this shit anyway.
Let's move on to.
He can leave it on, though. He'll leave some of it on because it's a good debate.
Let's move on to our top 5. How about that?
All right, so here's the point in the show where we go from talking about some bum-ass wrestlers to some of the best of all times. This is our top 5. Chimpy, what is our top 5 tonight?
Top 5 tonight is a great one. It's top 5 best tag teams of all time.
Top 5 best tag teams of all time. This is going to show our age, I have a feeling. So I'll go first. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our segment, Top 5 Best Tag Teams of All Time. And I will get started. Number 5 on my list in Top 5 Best Tag Teams of All Time are the Midnight Express. Now, I got to preface this. This shit was hard. It was a hard bottom half of my top 5. There were so many tag teams, man. I mean, shouts out to the Hardy Boys, the Rock and Roll Express, Demolition, Powers of Pain, New Day.
Well, thanks for letting us know who didn't make your list.
Well, they didn't make my list. This is my list. Stop interrupting me. The Midnight Express, though. The reason why I chose them over all those other tag teams, especially some of the historic tag teams, especially the ones that they battled, like Rock and Roll, and guys like the British Bulldogs and stuff like that, is because of their longevity and their title reigns. I mean, this is back when we had U.S. Tag Team Champions and World Tag Team Champions. They won both. They would win either title at any given moment, and they were always some guys, and I'm talking about Stan Lane and beautiful Bobby Eaton. So let me preface with that. I'm not old enough to really remember a lot of Dennis Condrey and beautiful Bobby, but I'm talking about Sweet Stan Lane, beautiful Bobby Eaton, managed by Jim Cornette. It was just they were just a perfect tag team. They complemented each other. They won a lot of titles. They had a great manager. They were heel most of the time, but there were some times when they were face. Even though I will say Stan Lane's karate moves were fucking corny as shit. So I'll say that on that. So number 5, the Midnight Express. My number 4 greatest tag team of all time is Edge and Christian. And that's for a lot of reasons. I mean, we could talk about their matches and how good they were, especially their matches with the Dudleys and the Hardys and all that. But we can go back all the way to the Brood when they were with Gangrel and fast forward all the way to their camera. What they used to do with the camera, shit, the stop motion, flash photography, right? That shit was cool, man. Them
dudes for the crowd.
Them dudes were hilarious, and they were awesome in the ring. And that's one of the few tag teams that produced 2 world champions. So that's like a tag team that's known as a tag team, even though those guys are known as individual singles great wrestlers. Those guys were so great together and complemented each other. They invented the concerto. You know what I'm saying? Just different stuff that they did over the years. They elevated the tag team division, not single-handedly. They had help, but if it wasn't for them, the tag team division would not have been on that same level. So number 4 was Edge and Christian. Number 3, my top 3 was easy. Those last 2 were hard. Like I said, there's so many other tag teams that could have been 4 and 5. But my top 3 is always solidified. And number 3 is Harlem Heat. Goes without saying. How many titles did they win? More world tag team titles in WCW than anyone. These guys were a tag team, and if you watch Booker T's A&E biography, these guys became a tag team by accident, even though they were brothers. They wrestled against each other a few times. But they never formed a tag team until they were called up by Eddie Gilbert. Rest in peace to hot stuff Eddie Gilbert. And they weren't the Harlem Heat, they were the Ebony Express. But they won those titles too. They went on to win WCW titles. I don't know how many fucking times, and I'm sure you could look it up. But they won that shit more than anyone else. I believe it was 10 or something like that, 9 or 10. And obviously produced my second favorite wrestler of all time is Booker T. But Harlem Heat, they were next level. Everything about them was really cool. They had Sherry, their sister Sherry, and I'd be remiss if I don't bring up Hulk Hogan. We coming for you, nigga. Number 3 is Harlem Heat. Number 2, see, I used to go back with 1 and 2 for a while, but right now it's pretty solidified. My number 2 is the Road Warriors. I don't have to give any explanation on why the Road Warriors are either 1 or 2 because they were either the 1 or 2 best tag teams of all time. When I was a kid, we couldn't wait to watch the Road Warriors wrestle for 10 seconds. We'd watch 2.5 hours of wrestling programming to see the Road Warriors put on a 20-second match where they'd run in with their music, smash a couple of jobbers, and run back out. And then we would get to see them versus some great tag teams again. Guys like the Powers of Pain, the Four Horsemen, specifically Arn and Tully, Spivey, and Sid Vicious, the Twin Towers. I mean, there were just so many. Then they went on to WWE and did their thing there. The Road Warriors, a.k.a. the Legion of Doom with Paul Ellering, Road Warrior Animal, Road Warrior Hawk, were amazing. My number 1 tag team, though, and if this tag team isn't number 1 on all of your list, I'm roasting the fuck out of you. This is just as important as Ric Flair being number 1 to me. It's the Dudley Boys. There's no single greater tag team. There's no single more accomplished tag team. And in my opinion, there's no greater tag team finisher than the 3D. The Dudley Boys are clearly, to me, I mean, these guys won the New Japan titles, right? They won the WWE titles. They won the Impact titles. I think they're in the 20s. It's like 23 world tag team titles. That'll never happen ever again. The Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray, and Devon, and to more of an extent, they had a stable. They had Spike and Big Dick Dudley, but Bubba Ray and Devon, the Dudley Boys, are the greatest tag teams of all time. And that's my list. That's all I got for me.
I guess this is where the marksman kicks in because
you're gonna hate on Midnight Express?
I'm not. The Midnight Express did not make my list.
Well, obviously. Wait. Before you get to your list, y'all ain't got nothing to say about my list. Because I'm gonna have a whole lot to say about y'all fucked up list.
Well, I thought we were just here to get right our top 5.
No. We're here to talk too. I like your list a little bit. Like I do like it. Edge and Christian, I feel like they were a very good tag team. They had a lot of titles, but I think they did more things as single wrestlers. You know what I mean? They did more in their career. Like their tag team careers where they started, yes, but they did more things singles. Like you got to think about it.
Would their singles career be possible without that tag team run?
No, but that's a lot of guys. You can say that about anybody basically that was a wrestler that got a title because everyone.
But can you say that about both? But can you say that about both wrestlers though? We could talk about a bunch of tag teams where one became the man, not when both of them became legends.
Okay, but like you're defending for everybody else gets to throw theirs out. Let's defend like your picks at the end. Like if I'm talking about yours before I get to throw mine out, then
you can't even talk about my top 3. You can't talk about my top 3.
I haven't get in the top.
I don't have anything
8.
wrong. I don't have anything wrong with your top 3.
Right.
Your top 3 is
but
good.
I think we
solid,
should. If you want to talk about each other's lists, let us throw all the lists out before we just discuss.
No,
one.
I'm gonna go each.
No, because then we're gonna forget.
I'm gonna go each fucker. Right. I'm gonna go each.
We're gonna talk about it anyway. Don't forget nothing. I don't forget nothing.
After you get done talking, I'm gonna talk about your list after you get done talking. Then I'm gonna let Chimby do his list, and I'm gonna talk about his list because I know one of y'all motherfuckers got the Heart Foundation on your list, and I'm gonna get y'all. So go ahead, Reggie.
Go ahead, Reggie. Your turn then.
Well, I guess you're looking for Chimby to throw the Heart Foundation up because they did not make my list. So, but my list might piss you off a little bit because coming in number 5 was Harlem Heat. That's just like how it is. Like,
why would that piss me off? They're in the top 5, bro. It's cool.
They're in the top 5. They're not my top 3. But like, goddamn, if I didn't enjoy watching Harlem Heat matches growing up, man, like
hold on, Reg. You said something right there. You said they're in your top 5, not your top 3. So why would I get mad? That means somebody in your top 3 is gonna piss me off. Go ahead.
Not exactly, man. It's just like my list isn't built the way yours is. That's why we're here to debate it after I throw my list out. So coming in number 5, Harlem Heat. Number 4, damn straight. It's a new day. Yes, it is. And so I'm going to defend that because you already threw out points about Harlem Heat. Let me defend the new day. The boys have more time as tag team champions than anybody in the world. We were there when we broke that record. Tell me you was not a mark that day.
I love the new day. They're not top 5.
Right.
Go ahead.
All right. There we go. Like they're in the top 5. Kofi Kingston, personally, more time as tag team champion than anyone in the company in all-time history. There's a lot of history in this group that you can't like say that. And as far as the Freebird rule, they took the Freebird rule to a whole nother level.
Reggie, let me ask you a question. Let's be accurate, because all his time being tag team champion, some of that time is split up between a bunch of other dudes, not the New Day. But go ahead.
Kofi Kingston. I'm Boom Squad all day. Like if we do you want to rewind the tape? I said that earlier. But anyway, New Day definitely is in my top 5. Coming in number 3, I do have the Hardy Boys. I can't leave them off my list. You were waiting for me to get called out on the Heart Foundation. No. Not in my house. The Hardy Boys make it before the Heart Foundation any day. Because if you're going to compare as a Christian up there, the Hardy Boys were right there throwing the bows with them. And I'm sorry to say this, as a Christian didn't make my list. Because number 2 is your Word Warrior. Because I'm a huge motherfucker. All day. They're one of the most innovative tag teams of all time. One of the best tag teams in multiple brands. 4 years. All day. Road Warriors. Legion of Doom. Whatever you want to call them. Football players with motherfucking spikes. And I can't disagree with number 1. 3D. Dudley Boys all day. Like, if anybody was around me, I just slapped them in the chest right now and say, get the tables. And I'd probably put somebody through it. You know, I wanted to, but didn't mean to. I do that kind of stuff all the time. But there's no one more decorated than the Dudleys. Again, multiple companies, multiple titles. ECW, Impact, WWE, New Japan, wherever you want to go. Like, they got belts everywhere.
So I don't really disagree with your list. I think Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys are interchangeable. The only reason why I put Edge and Christian there is because they sustained their tag team more intact than the Hardy Boys. You know what I'm saying? And I think that has a lot to do with Jeff Hardy being a fuck up. But I don't have a problem with your list. New Day. I avoided putting Freebird rule people on my list because who are we talking about here? We're talking about Xavier and Big E. We're talking about Kofi and Big E, Kofi and Xavier. There's 3 guys there. I think they're a top 10 tag team. I wasn't going to put them in my top 5 because there's 3 of them. Straight up. But I don't have a problem with the Hardy Boys. I mean, I think Hardy Boys probably would have been, for me, 6, 7, or 8. And New Day would have been not like 9 or 10, maybe. So I'm cool with your list. It's not trash. I'm not going to put it in the recycling bin, but it gets a plastic bag, not like a leather bag. Go ahead, Chamby.
I like your list, actually. I think your list is really good. I mean, the only thing is like about the New Day. New Day's won a lot of belts, but like they're not beating anybody, you know. But some of these tag teams, like Midnight Express, you gotta understand, Midnight Express, when they were beating the belts, they're beating the Road Warriors. That's who they're beating. The New Day, they won the belt, but it's like, oh, who'd you beat? Oh, I'll beat these dudes. All right, well, that kind of makes sense. You guys are more of a team. So I like your list, but the only thing I don't like about that is the New Day. I don't think they should really be up on that list. You know what I mean? Ahmad is going somewhere. I think you want to hear my list because I know you're going to get crazy.
Or I want to mark.
But wait, but I understand we want to mark when you want to mark, but like having the New Day on your list is just kind of silly to me. You know what I mean? Like, they're a tag team. They're a tag team, but are they the best tag team? One of the best tag teams of all time? Nah, I don't think so.
Well, wait. In that defense, I mean, they've won those titles more than anyone else in WWE. And
yeah, but who are they beating?
Hold on. And they've, in this modern era where tag teams get broken up so quickly, they were able to sustain that. Not only that, when it first came out, that shit wasn't working. And they found a way to get it over and keep it going for a long time. Again, I didn't put them on my top 5 because they're more of a stable to me, even though they were a tag team with Freebird rules, but you can't discredit them the way you just did. You know what I'm saying? I ain't put them in my top 5, but they are a top 10 tag team of all time, in my opinion. Go ahead, Chin. Let's hear your bullshit list.
All right, here you go. Time to get crazy and be like, nah. All right. So let's just start it off. Number 5, one of my favorite tag teams of all time. 2 guys they took that WWE wasn't doing anything with. They had no idea what to do with these 2 dudes. They put them together. They acted out the way they wanted to be, the people they wanted to be, and they had great match for people. Oh, you didn't know the New Age Outlaws. That's my number 5 team right there. Number 5. All right. Number 4. My number 4 team is James Cornette walking to the ring with Stan Lane and Beautiful Bobby, but Midnight Express. Midnight Express had great matches. They were one of the best tag teams. They were 2 different guys. One guy was more technical, one guy's high flyer, and they really, like, if you look at that, there's no Hardy Boys. There's no Edge and Christian. There's not a lot of these tag teams. The Midnight Express didn't do their thing back today.
Yo, weren't they? When you look at the Midnight Express, when you look at their the ring attire, they had contrast even though it was the same. Like Stan Lane wear a short vest, Bobby wear a trench john. Yep. Bobby would wear the long tights, and Stan Lane would wear the short tights, but they would match. And they had Jim Cornette, like they were a quintessential tag team. So yeah, I'll give you that one. I'm gonna roast the shit out of your list though, but go ahead.
I know. But they're one of those tag teams that really helped the WWE get more colorful by showing the colors they get. All right, here goes a tag team that you're probably going to roast me for, and I'm surprised it wasn't on anybody's list, but I guess I'm different. We take 2 huge stars and you put them together, and look at the teams they beat. Andre the Giant and Ted DiBiase, they beat them. They beat Akeem and the Big Boss Man. I'm talking about the Mega Powers. That's who I'm talking about. Macho Man Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan. That's right. Come on.
Yeah.
One of the best tag teams of all time. Absolutely. Come on. How are they not one of the best tag teams of all time? Come on. They didn't need no belts. They were one of the biggest wrestlers on the planet put together in a tag team, and they had a tag team named Mega Powers. All right.
Please don't tell me your number 1 is 2-man power trip.
No. My number 2.
Wait. I'm saving that. Like, yo, I'm beside myself. Go ahead, Chimby.
All right, number 2 is Dudley Boys. If anybody didn't know this, the Dudley Boys, before the Dudley Boys became a tag team, they were supposed to fight each other that first night in like a pay-per-view, and somehow I think somebody got injured in another match, and they put them in a match, and it worked out that way. Dudley Boys have a lot of belts, a lot of belts, but the only reason that the Road Warriors are number one on my list is I grew up with the Road Warriors. I watched a lot. I went to a house show basically out in Bethlehem and saw the Road Warriors, met them, and took a picture of them. I wish I could find that picture, but it's in some gymnasium somewhere and passed around and moved, whatever. But the Road Warriors and me were just the reason I picked them over the Dudleys is I like what they did more. They had face paint. It was being loud. They spikes on them and everything. Just completely different look. That's why I liked more. And the matches they had were the Dudley Boys were beating amazing tag teams. They did a lot. But another thing, just like the Midnight Express, if the Road Warriors weren't out there picking up tables and having scaffolding matches, there might not have been an ECW and been Dudley Boys. So there's my list. Let's hear what you got to say.
I was fully prepared to Yo, I'm gonna take this time right now to shout out to King's Cannabis, our sponsor, because I'm going to need some King's Cannabis after hearing Chimby's list. But if you're in Oregon, especially Eugene, Oregon, but all over the state, go to your local dispensary and look for King's Cannabis. They specialize in strawberries. They got some new stuff coming for you. But anytime you see that strawberry shortcake, strawberry cookies and stuff like that, it's King's Cannabis. They sponsor Raw Crew. They sponsor It's Not Fake Fancast. Shouts out to them. I'm going to need some King's Cannabis. Chimby. So let's run down your list real quick. So your number 5 tag team was what again?
The New Age Outlaws.
Okay. Your number 3 tag team were the Mega Powers, correct? I don't even know where to fucking start with your list. So I'm going to start with, all right, so let's go to New Age Outlaws because they're the most defensible out of the two. I'll give you the fact that they won multiple world titles. I'll give you the fact that that tag team had a lot of contrast to it, which was dope. They complemented each other. I'll give you that. They were awesome on the microphone. They sucked in the ring. What was their finisher, Chimpy? Did they have a tag team finisher?
I mean, you're saying that dumpster match.
What was their tag team finisher?
He did. The one did the what do you call it? The face buster move. The other one did a pump handle slam.
Exactly. Does that compare to the rocket launcher or the Doomsday Device or the elbow? The knee thing, the demolition with the. Does that compare to any of that shit?
No.
Does that compare to the Midnight Hour even? Shouts out to Reggie. No. Does that compare to the Concerto? The Twist of Fate and Swanton? Motherfucker. So, all right. So
the New Age Outlaws, in their defense, also we're fighting them. We're fighting huge tag teams.
You explained your shit already. Okay. I'm not knocking them. If it wasn't for Gen X, they wouldn't be shit. They wouldn't be on your top 5 if it wasn't for Generation X, the Generation X. They're not a top 10 tag team. They won a bunch of titles. They were cool because they're part of DX. But I'm gonna let you have that because you're I'm gonna let you have the New Age Outlaws because I'm cool with that. I had Edge and Christian. Reggie had the Hardy Boys. But goddamn, Chimby, you done took the cake with the Mega Powers. These guys were a tag team for 2 whole months.
You didn't take the cake with the Mega Powers.
You took the whole damn cake. You smashed the cake on the motherfucker's face. Then you took the cake, you threw it in the trash, you walked it outside and put it in the dumpster. The Mega Powers were a tag team only to feud with each other. So we had a list. The 3 of us all had lists. every single tag team on my list, every single tag team on Reggie's list, and all but one of your tag teams have won world tag team titles. How in the holy hell fuck are you a top 5 tag team? You ain't ever won no tag team title.
I based it on different stuff.
They weren't a tag team, Chimby. That was a storyline, bro. It never happened. Who did they wrestle as a tag team?
Andre the Giant and $1 Million Man at SummerSlam.
Who else?
And then they also wrestled Big Boss Man and Akeem. They wrestled Paul Orndorff at one point and somebody else. I can't remember who. I think it might have been Don Morocco. They wrestled a lot of different people.
So isn't it cool that you can remember almost every single team that they wrestled?
Yes.
Can you remember every single team the Midnight Express, the Road Warriors, the Dudley Boys wrestled?
Yes, a lot of them.
Every single,
a lot of them. Dudley Boys, good. Absolutely.
No, so good. Compare the tag teams that they wrestled to the tag teams that the fucking Mega Powers wrestled. The Mega Powers didn't even wrestle real tag teams. They didn't wrestle Demolition for the titles.
I wasn't voting on their. I wasn't putting their opponents.
How are they?
List, you know?
All right, so let me ask you a question because I don't want to keep roasting you without letting you talk. How in the fuck do you think that the Mega Powers were the number 3 greatest tag team of all time? Like, what was your criteria for that pick? What
was my criteria?
Over the Hardy
them
Boys.
As a team. Them as the overall team.
Yes.
Them as the overall team. That's what it did. I voted on that. Them as an overall team.
What do you mean? Because you can't.
What they were as a team together.
Are you factoring in their singles credentials before they were a team to factor in what type of team they were?
No, it was not. Nope, I did not. I only factor in tag teams. That's it.
I'm confused. Reggie, help me out. I'm confused. How are the Mega Powers a number 3 tag team? How are they even a top?
On my list.
How are they a top 50 tag team?
Right. That's why I asked him if 2-man power trip was next. You know what I mean?
No.
Because that's the same equivalent. Like 2-man power
Strike
trip
Force
was the
more
modern
of a tag
day
team.
Mega Powers.
Strike Force was more of a tag team. Paul Roma and Jim fucking Powers were more of a tag team. Paul Roma and
they weren't on my list. They weren't on my list.
Well, I know.
Back then,
it
was the Mega Powers selling the tickets. They were the 2 biggest stars. Kids loved it. I get where he's coming from. Jimmy's like probably going back to then, like, oh my god, this is so awesome.
Isn't that
the Macho Man and Hulk Hogan as a tag team?
Stop,
oh my god!
Stop! Those guys were singles draws.
I know
they drew as singles wrestlers working as a tag team. They didn't draw as a tag team.
They don't have draws as a tag team, but the fact that they had a tag. No, if Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode can just get by his ass, they name themselves the Dirty Dogs, and it still says Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler on the thing. The Mega Powers, at least they had a team name.
They've won a title. Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler won belts. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre were champions. Demolition, fucking champions. Hardy Boys, champions. Rock and Roll Express, champions. British Bulldogs, champions. High Foundation, champions.
Wait. But the list was the list was
all-time greatest tag teams.
Yeah,
it wasn't a unit though.
Champions. It didn't say championship though.
But as a unit, championships are
how
we
that was a unit. Mega Powers.
I'm saying, but the greatest unit, they were a unit for 2 months.
A third greatest unit, not second or first. I didn't put in there. Third.
Somebody look up how long these assholes were a tag team because that shouldn't even count, bro.
It did to me.
Right, they were only put together as a tag team to fight each other. Hold on a second. They were only put together as a tag team to fight each other. That was a storyline. This ain't Miz and Morrison out this bitch. Miz and Morrison were a way better tag team than Mega Powers. Bro, are you fucking the Steiner brothers? Come on, man. Stop. Shambi, I swear you make these lists to make me mad. I know you do. You be like, yo, how can I piss somebody off more than putting Owen Hart on the top 5 all-time wrestler list. Because like that was the cake right there. That's baking the cake. The cake was done. It came out the oven. So you was like, I'm looking for icing to put on this cake. Where's the icing for this Owen Hart top 5 best wrestler cake? Oh, I got it. Mega Powers fucking icing. Horrible. Like, I don't know what's worse. The Mega Powers being your number 3rd greatest tag team, or Owen Hart being
the next episode I'm gonna add sprinkles. It's gonna be sprinkles next. It's gonna be sprinkles there.
Eventually, we're gonna do so many top 5s that I'm gonna have a top 5 of Chimby's worst top 5s. This is where we're heading. We're a new fan cast, podcast, what you want to call us. Chimby, you are archiving some really fucked up lists right now. I'm just letting you know that. I love you to death. And you are the content guru, the producer extraordinaire. But I swear you're making these lists to make me mad. Like,
not at all.
No, because you would have put the Hart Foundation on your list.
No.
I was prepared to roast the Hart Foundation. You guys didn't let me roast the Hart Foundation.
I wasn't a Hart Foundation fan when I was younger. Not my thing. No, I didn't like them. Wasn't a fan of them.
People, y'all tell me in the comments if the Mega Powers should be a legit tag team. Because no one's commented yet. Maybe this will make them comment. Maybe the fuckery of your list will make people comment. I don't know. I'm going to comment myself just to add to it. Crazy as shit. All right, though, people. Another top 5 in the bag. Great segment, guys. My list is always way better than you guys' list. Even though Reggie's list was pretty good. And I think I had Harlem Heat. You had Harlem Heat. We both had Dudley Boys and Road Warriors. I had Edge and Christian in Midnight Express. Chimby had Midnight Express.
I switched out Midnight Express for New Day.
So there's some continuity to our list, and we can make a case for New Day. The Monkey Wrench was the Mega Powers. We'll never be able to make a case for that. But this is a pretty good segment. Chimby's lists are always a topic of conversation, so I do enjoy when I hear. That's why Chimby got to go last, because we're gonna talk about his list the most. We always talk about his list the most, right? But that's our show tonight, man. We had a strong week of wrestling, guys. I mean, everything from Will Ospreay to the chocolate purple bunny bow-legged fake ass Prince walking around, Dennis Rodman ass pussy ass Velveteen Dream getting released, Buff Bagwell getting arrested, and we had a strong week of wrestling. I thought. I mean, we got some storylines to kick off. We're going into a pay-per-view coming up, and our next show will be our preview of Double or Nothing. So stay tuned for that. That should be up right after this. But guys, let's conclude the show. What you got for us? Malachi Jones, what you got in conclusion, bro?
Well, what I got in conclusion is I want everybody to LCS. You know what that is? That's like, comment, and subscribe right now to this video. Please help us out. You know, we're trying to get up there. And thanks for listening to our show. Go to you.
Tag team partner, Reg, Antonio Marksman, grown man John Cena fan for the 3-second tan. What you got on conclusion, brother?
Everybody, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you keep tuning in. We got way more in the future to drop on you. This won't happen all the time. Like, my list will top his list. He will give the Marksman respect. You will acknowledge me. Dark Show. I am your host, the undefeated top 5 list, Dark Show. And we are the fuck up out of here. Devon, get the tables.